What's happening, football fans? Especially my Raven fans. Welcome to the DJB Long Studio, presented to you right here on my Raven Rooter Show. Yes, indeed. Following up with the Ravens, we shut them down just like the Ravens shut them down. You can find it on my YouTube channel, DJB-Long Studio.com, for the full length version for those that you want all the smoke. And if you want to get the condensed version, you can hit me up on TikTok at DJ underscore BLONG. I'll give you a good 10 minutes of TikTok, but if you want the full length, you better tune in to that channel. Make sure you tune in, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. That way you can be sure to catch me live as I recap the game. Needless to say, I will be dropping some of the hottest breaking news and giving you insight to the Ravens world and the game like no other can. Who am I? I am the one and only, of course, the only one Raven Rooter. And I'm not a new kid on the Blizzard at this point, but I'm sure trying to make some noise. The one and only Raven. I always get a chuckle out of that. Rooter. And here's what I got for you guys today. So let's dive in. For those of you out there that want to hear dive in, I like to put it like, let's dive in. And with that being said, oh boy, man, am I excited about these Ravens. I don't know about y'all, but I am super excited. You know, they put on a show, boy. They put on a show. Lamar and the D. Oh my goodness, they put on a show. But anyway, we're gonna dive in here right in Raven World. I'm gonna go ahead and give you a little bit of something what's going on as far as what the Ravens are doing at this point in time. And before I get started, I'd like to go ahead and again, I'm going to remind you, you're going to get about 10 minutes of this, but I'm going to be actually on the air for about maybe 30 minutes. So if you want to get the full length, you're going to have to tune into the channel, my podcast there. You see there where it says DJBLongStudio.com. That way you're going to get all the Smizoke. All right, let's do this. Now, the Ravens, let me give you a couple of quick little nuggets. And I ain't talking about the Denver Nuggets, even though them some bad boys too in the NBA right now. But let me give you a couple of quick nuggets about the Ravens. Now, this here will be the first AFC Championship game played in Baltimore. First one played in the B-more since January 1971. I mean, some of you weren't even born out there at that point in time. You know what I'm saying? Some of you weren't even born. Some of you were just graduating college at that time as well. But anyway, the Ravens, they beat the Colts actually doing that in that game, and the Oakland Raiders to advance to the Super Bowl 5, as a matter of fact. The Ravens are right now attempting to reach the Super Bowl for the very first time since the 2012 season. So, they got a lot on the plate right now. So they're trying to get that thing and make it happen. Now, this past Saturday's game, the Houston Texans versus the Baltimore Ravens game in the in the divisional round of the playoffs. This particular game here kind of remind you how Colorado stepped out there and it was breaking all kind of viewing records. But anyway, this particular game was the most watched NFL game ever. I'm talking about not EVER, I'm talking about EVA, ever. Okay. Broadcast by ESPN. Now, according to earlier reporting from the Nielsen rating, whoever this Nielsen dude is, we hear a lot about him, but anybody ever seen him? Do we even know what the hell he looked like? Anyway, 31.8 million people tune in to watch the Ravens go to work. They watch the Ravens go to work. Well, Houston tried to put up a little fight early on, and, you give it to them. I mean, they tried, but the Ravens have just turned out to be too much now. In this particular game, Lamar Jackson actually made history in a divisional round win. Now, he became the first. Boy, Lamar Jackson got a whole lot of number ones behind his name and stuff. He probably should have been wearing the jersey number one, because at the end of the day, when all this stuff is said and done and written in the history books, he's going to be number one. No doubt in my mind about it. What about you Raven fans out there? I know there's a bunch of haters out there, and they don't believe in him, starting with the haters like Shannon Sharp, Boy, Shannon, don't let me get on you, boy, because I used to roll with you when you would skip. Maybe you was just afraid to talk bad about people, especially people of color and black quarterbacks in particular. And boy, you dogged out Lamar early in the season, and there's tape on you all over the place where you were doubting. And now you're all over his dick. Anyway, and Stephen A. as well. And Sherman Douglas, I don't even know how you get on TV. I'm telling you, boy, I don't know how to. I don't, man. Listen. Anyway, I ain't gonna go out there and do like that to you because there's a whole lot of quote unquote pundits that was on the same wagon. Now, man, listen, you ain't even got room to get on the wagon now. These fools are coming from everywhere. They all over the doggone place. They all on the wagon, man. I had to change the hydraulics on the wagon and stuff just because it got so many people jumping on it anyway. Anyway, um, now he became the first NFL player to score not one, not two, but two. So I take that back. He scored two rushing touchdowns. He also had two passing touchdowns. And he did what he's notorious for doing. That's running that rock. He rushed for over 100 yards. And not only did he rush for over 100 yards, he had 100 passer rating, 100% passer rating in any regular season game of the postseason. Okay, 100% passing rate, and he rushed for over 100 yards. Listen, they are out here procrastinating about giving that brother his his MVP award. They can keep on procrastinating if they want to. Boy, look here. If they don't give him the MVP, boy, look here. That thing I used to think about with Kaepernick, and that was collusion all over the place. They weren't letting him having it. And the same way they tried to treat Lamar because they didn't want him to get that guaranteed money to break Deshaun's record, they colluded. And all these owners ran around here talking about, oh, no, we're not interested. And in the meantime, you got people like Matt Jones starting. You got Zach Wilson starting for quarterback. I mean, you got scrubs that should be third string. But nobody was interested in obviously the future MVP for 2023. Nobody was interested. At least that's what they were saying. At least that's what they were going by in order to keep that brother from breaking that guaranteed money record that Deshaun put on their ass. But anyway, that's neither here nor it need to be. That's another subject, and we talked about that. Actually, matter of fact, I talked about that early on in some of my interviews. But anyway, keep in mind, for those of you that are tuning in on TikTok, you're going to have to go to the DJB-long studio.com in order to get the full length version. And in the meantime, I'll be signing off around the 10-minute mark for TikTok. Okay. So anyway, make sure you tune in to get the full length of the version and all this smearzoke. All right. So not only did Lamar Jackson throw for 3,678 yards and 24 touchdowns this year, he also led the team with 81 yards rushing and 5 touchdowns on the ground. Okay. Now check this out. Check this nugget out. This is a compliment that you just can't ignore. According to Stroud, and we knew Stroud was a bad boy. He say Lamar is a dog. He say, I've been a fan of his since high school, really since the highlight of him juking the dude back and putting his hands up, actually. Since that moment, I was like, who is this dude? It's really an honor to share a field with a player like that. He's a generation talent. He's a hell of a quarterback. He can run, he can throw, and he's definitely an underrated thrower. He was tossing around that rock in the wind today like it was nothing. I'm really just a fan of his. And I'm glad I got to talk to him, and I want to talk to him more after the game. This coming from Stroud, C.J. Stroud, one of the best young run quarterbacks in the league right now. This kid is going to be on the upcome. He's already on the upcome, so y'all be on the lookout. I'm going to get out of here for you TikTokers. I'm going to go back on out of here for you guys, and then I'm going to continue on forward with the YouTube channel. So tune in. Y'all see the station, DJB-long. Studio.com. Now for Mark Jackson, let's just say the long break between games did play a factor in a slow start for this team. Now everything can play a part of it according to Lamar. We were rusty. He admitted it. We were rusty. Okay. It was windy, it was cold, and everything played a factor. Now that goes to show you, people that's living up in that stuff, they still don't get used to it. They still get windy and cold. And people like the Dolphins and even Houston, you know what I'm saying? It's a little bit different ball game for them. But anyway, Mark Jackson admitted that they were a little bit rusty. Um, but he said the thing that he was proud of about his team is they came out in the second half, shook the rust off, and we did what we were supposed to do. They put points on the board. Now, they not only put points on the board, but that defense kept balling out. That defense, listen, we'll talk about that defense in a minute here. Now, the Baltimore Ravens overcame a sluggish first half, basically to take care of a feisty Houston team, the Texans. And of course, they went on ahead and put them out of their misery 34-10 at M&T Bank Center to book their spot in the AFC Championship game. Boy, I can't wait for that. AFC Championship game. Here we come. All right. Listen. So we know who's in the AFC title game, but that's not the dance quite yet, according to Lamar. We got to finish. Okay, we got to finish. Still the playoffs, but we're not in the dance yet. He said, I'm looking forward to next week, to be honest, and I'm not even thinking about the Super Bowl until we handle business. Boy, is he focused on what? Is the brother focused on what? You don't get too much more focused than that. Okay. Now, this apparently will be Lamar Jackson's first career AFC Championship game. And when he's asked what he's looking forward to, he basically said, as a matter of fact, I'm just looking to play. I'm looking to ball. That's all I'm looking forward to, getting on the field, and we will go from there. I will do my work when I get on the field. Bro, look here. I'm telling you, I feel excited. Right now, I feel like I can run a few routes for him and stuff, and I'm hobbling on one bad knee. But anyway, and he going to hit me right in stride. But the presumptive league, he's the presumptive league MVP. Presumptive. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know how they want to put that word in there. Presumptive. Man, y'all need to stop bullshit. This man, listen, he should have got the MVP award at the end of the season. But that's okay. Like I said, and I mentioned, what Lamar is going to do, he's going to get what I call the MVP triple crown. He's going to get it of the league. You know, for those of you that are familiar with baseball, you'll understand. He's going to get it in the league, the MVP league, the league MVP, should I say. And he's going to get the AFC Championship MVP. He's going to get the AFC Championship MVP. Okay. And at the end of all that, he's going to get the Super Bowl Championship MVP. You heard it first right here, the one and only one, DJ B Long Bingo doing it. Raven Ruda. Yeah, you know how I do. But you heard it first. Triple Crown of football. Lamar Jackson. Now, during this particular game, he actually rushed for an 8-yard touchdown run, actually to extend their lead over the Texans to 31-10, which basically iced the game. And he picked up his second rushing touchdown of the night on a play fake that he then ran into the end zone. And then he not just ran into the end zone, but he ran up the stadium tunnel as well. I guess he was saying this was over. He was ready to go home at that point. But he ran all the way up into the tunnel. Oh boy, he couldn't. You know what I mean? The boy was running so fast, the brakes didn't work. He ran all the way up into the tunnel. Anyway, Jackson picked up his second rushing touchdown of the night on that play fake. Now he connected with tight end Isaiah Likely. Listen, if y'all been sleeping on Isaiah Likely, you better stop. You better stop. You better stop sleeping on him, because Isaiah Likely is finna get that bag. I know, he came in for Mark Andrews, and Mark Andrews was always Lamar's favorite target. He was his only target really for several years. And but now what Isaiah Likely has done for this team since Mark Andrews went down, he's given them some explosiveness at that tight end spot. Mark Andrews had hands like glue. He wasn't dropping anything. He was catching everything came his way, even the COVID. But I don't wish that on him. He waited. I don't know if he cut COVID or not, but he was catching every damn thing. Isaiah Likely, he don't just catch it; he turned it into a play. And this is what this guy brings to the table. And right now, it looks like Mark Andrews is going to be back. He looks like he's going to be back for this game against the Kansas City Chiefs. Boy, look here. Can you imagine what Monken is thinking about putting both of those guys on the field in a tight end position? Boy, he can get creative with that for sure. He can definitely get creative with that. But anyway, be on the lookout. Likely he's balling. And Lamar, I don't know why I want to keep calling him Mark Jackson. Big shout out to Mark Jackson. The best coach in the NBA that never got a coaching job other than the Golden State thing. So we don't know what's going on with that, man. They pretty much blackball him the way they did Kaepernick, but it's it is what it is, and that because it is what it is. That shit ain't no good. But anyway, Mark Jackson, big up to you, bro. You know what I'm saying? We know you know your game. But anyway, now let's take a look at the Texans for a second here. Now, the talk on the town was you can blitz yeah, I go again. You can blitz Lamar Jackson and make him think quickly, or make him get rid of the ball quickly, or make him get to a point where he can't read the defenses. This is what the myth was. This is what the myth was, okay? Now, the Texans blitzed him on 13 of 18 dropbacks in the first half. That's 72%. And they actually got to him a couple of times. They were able to sack him. Now, Lamar was sacked 3 times and pressured 10 times in the first 2 quarters. And, of course, the Ravens were forced to punt their last 3 possessions of the half. The first half, that is. Now, fortunately for Houston, Steven Sims, his punt return for a touchdown for the Texans, that actually tied the game at 10. Now, Sims took it. He actually took it to the house, 67 yards on a punt return to tie up the game in the second quarter. And when he did that, I said, "Oh my goodness, what we up against now? What's going on here? Look like we may have a game." I got a little nervous. I'm sure a lot of you did too. Now, the extra point was good. And it made the score, of course, as I mentioned, it tied the game up with less than 5 minutes to go in the first half. And by the way, that punt return for the touchdown, it was the first in the NFL playoffs since 2013. It was the very first in the NFL playoffs since 2013, if you can believe that. Okay? It was the first. Now, in a highly anticipated conference championship, the AFC's top-seeded Baltimore Ravens, they look to fend off the star-studded Kansas City Chiefs. Yes, sir. The Chiefs are coming to M&T Bank Stadium, and the Sunday afternoon matchup is highlighted by two of the most exciting quarterbacks in the league. And we got one of them, of course, Lamar Action Jackson, and then of course that's Patrick Mahomes. We know he ain't no joke. Patrick Mahomes is not nothing to mess around with. Ask the Buffalo Bills. But you couldn't ask for it any better. If you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. And then we got Lamar going up against Patrick. Man, look at here. Boy, just imagine what that game will be like. But you know what? I think the Ravens defense going to have a lot to say about it. The Ravens defense, who led the league in sacks this season, they're going to be looking to get after Mahomes. Now, Mahomes is able to break away a couple of times from the Buffalo Bills on some scramble runs, but he don't have that kind of speed to break away from the Ravens defenders. Them boys can run too. But anyway, it's going to be interesting. And fortunately for Mahomes, his receivers didn't drop the ball this game. They actually played an abnormal game. They didn't drop the ball. His breakout receiver, Rashee Rice, and, of course, tight end Travis Kelce. Kelce finally got his mind off of who for a minute, and so he was able to play football. Boy, look at here. Hey, I ain't mad at the brother, though. I ain't mad at it, but he finally got a chance to focus on football. But anyway, Baltimore will be facing the challenge to slow him down, as well as Rasheed Rice. Now let's see if they get back to their old ways of dropping that football, because they were notorious for that. They led the league in that. So the apple don't fall far from the tree in that regards. Now, and also Isaiah Pacheco, the running back for the Kansas City Chiefs, he put up a pretty good game against the Buffalo Bills. Now he caught fire in the victory over the Bills. Pacheco rushed the ball 15 times for 97 yards, and he had a touchdown, adding one catch to one target for 14 yards. Now, we all know that MVP Lamar Jackson is the engine that powers this machine, and he deserves a lot of credit of getting the team to the AFC Championship. But in addition, Jackson has that defense to rely on. The Ravens defense also deserved their flowers. Now, the Ravens defense surrendered just one drive with points in Saturday's game, 34-10, win against the Texans. The one touchdown came on a punt return by Steven Sims late in the second quarter. Now, I think we have the best front seven in football. This is quoting from Roquan Smith. He's quoting Roquan Smith, all-pro linebacker. He said, I think we got the best seven in football. Now, starting with our four up front, and then the best two combo in the league, me, Patrick Queen in the middle. Oh, man, we got this thing on lock. Let him tell it, okay? So that's how confident that defense is. And you can't help but see it, because they damn show playing like it. Now, as the Ravens prepare to host the AFC Championship game on Sunday for the first time, remember, first time in franchise history, they know their defense played a co-starring role against the Texans, and they would have to actually maintain just as a reliable game if this promising season is actually to conclude with the postseason glory, meaning Super Bowl championship. That's it. Super Bowl or bust at this point. Now, the defense was just as good as it could be, said Coach John Harbaugh after the game on Saturday. Now, the Ravens held the Texans without a touchdown on offense, as Houston reached the end zone only on a second quarter punt return by Steven Sims. So they did not get in the red zone, and the only way they got the offense never got to the end zone. It was the special teams, that punt return, that actually got them in the end zone. Okay, but again, that's what that defense is looking like, and they shut the Ravens. They shut the Texans down. They didn't do it with big plays, as they had no sacks of Texans quarterback rookie C.J. Stroud. And as I mentioned, C.J. Stroud is definitely on the upcome, and they forced no turnovers. Can you believe that? No sacks, no turnovers, no touchdowns. Not from the offense. They just simply shut the Texans down. They shut them down. Shut them down. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Limiting them actually to 10 first downs and a grand total of 213 yards. I believe Lamar Jackson had more yards than that by himself. Okay. Again, as I mentioned, that likely guy, be on the lookout for him. He's gonna get his bank. He's gonna get his bank, and I expect him to have a big game coming forward too. Now, we all know how we all know who we are deep down. Each and every guy in this locker room, according to Roquan Smith, they know who they are. They know what they're representing at this point. So it's just more about playing to the best of your ability, doing your job to the best of your ability. And boy, that's what they're doing. They play in and play out. And like I tell the guys all the time, according to Roquan, if you do that, nobody can touch us. Like Hammer say, you can't touch this. Nobody can touch us. But if we get complacent, that's when people can hang with us. That's it, boy. You relax, here they come. Here they come. Now, this is a franchise and a city that actually appreciates rugged defense. The Ravens were notorious for what they did on the defensive end throughout their history. Now, they had players, defensive stars like Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, T Suggs. Yeah, T Suggs. I mean, they had guys all up and down on that defense, as much as by its franchise quarterbacks. Now, this Ravens defense has no standouts of that magnitude. Not at this point. They all early in their careers. So they haven't made that legacy name for themselves yet. But trust me, they will have some of those guys as standouts. And they're gonna have to pay them because if they win this Super Bowl, you know what that means. Them boys gonna come looking for their cheddar. They're gonna come looking for their money, and they're gonna deserve it. Okay. But this defense actually, it does have 4 Pro Bowl selections this season. You got Smith, then fellow linebacker Patrick Queen, and safety Kyle Hamilton, another defensive gem, another young ball player. Man, they loaded. They're loaded. And of course, you got defensive tackle Justin Matabuke. Okay. Anyway, now the Ravens defense ranked 6th in the NFL in total defense during the regular season. Hard to believe they ranked that low or high, depending on how you look at it. But they're playing like the number 1 defense that they are in these playoffs. Okay, they're playing like the number 1 defense, and their defensive coordinator Mike McDonald. he has become the most popular head coaching candidate in the league right now. Everybody want a piece of him as a head coach. So there's a good chance, man. The Ravens, I ain't gonna say when the Ravens win this Super Bowl, they're probably gonna lose a lot of players and pieces because people are gonna be coming after them. People are gonna be coming after their team, and you know what? Yeah, as Raekwon would say, they're ready. They're ready for this game with the Chiefs, and they're gonna be ready to get paid once this is all said and done. Mike McDonald, I don't know what kind of loyalty he's gonna have, but if he's smart, he'll go ahead and take that money, get that bag. Forget being that loyalty to the team at that point. You go to whoever's gonna pay you the most money because those types of positions are short-lived. Okay, they're short-lived. Now, and the defense actually feel the same way. In my and like we're kind of saying, my motto is like hit everything that moves. If it moves, hit it. And I kind of echo that throughout the defense. This is what he's telling his defenders, his co-teammates, and the defense feel the same way. Actually, it's about just like imposing your will on cats throughout the game. Boy, if you impose your will hard enough, you're gonna take somebody's will. Okay, you will take somebody's will. And with that being said, throughout the game, eventually, 9 times out of 10, most cats are going to break. That's just human nature. That's just human nature. Now, that's who we are. And we just have to do what we do to the best of our ability. And like I said earlier, and again, I'm quoting Raekwon Smith. And like I said earlier, if we do that, that's all she wrote. That is all she wrote if we do that. And by no means we don't expect them to do that. We're actually expecting them to do that. So we keep a lookout on that for that. And and as far as the Ravens are concerned, like I said, we got Kansas City coming up at us, and we got to see what we're gonna do with Kansas City. It's gonna be a challenge. Patrick Mahomes is going to come to play, and no doubt about it, he will be there to play, and we're gonna have to play, and we will, we definitely will. Now, with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to wrap things up here again. Again, Ravens World, and I am the one and only Raven Rooter. And make sure you tune in and lock it in. DJBLongstudio.com. If you wanna hit me on TikTok, you can follow me on TikTok as well. You can follow me at DJ_BLONG. I will be on TikTok as well. And that's a 10-minute version of what you just got. And keep in mind, every week. Well, we got maybe 2 more weeks left, 3 more weeks left. We got next week. Well, we right back at you. This is the one and only, of course, the Raven